Greetings, everyone. Back in October of last year, as we began our 2023 pledge season, I encouraged our congregation to give generously so that we could focus on two key areas in 2024, that is youth and music ministries. Now, regarding youth ministry, I am so pleased to report that our youth group is not just back, but it's going strong. And I have to admit that it's wonderful when we see efforts that we make to serve the Lord bear fruit so quickly. But that's not always the case. And in our effort to bring in a new minister of music, this has just simply taken longer. And it's because of this that I wanted to update you with where things are currently. So since 2024, and that has been in the slivers of time really between Easter and Christmas, we took time to do a few things. One was to honestly evaluate what our needs actually are. Now that might sound easy. What are our needs? Get an organist, right? But since we are building up an entire music program, rather than just hiring someone to come in and run an already established program, this question about our actual needs is an important one. Furthermore, because the role is now going to need someone for more than just a few hours a week, members of the Finance Committee and Vestry have been working hard to create a pay and benefits package that would be suitable as well as affordable for us as a relatively small church. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment now just to thank those parishioners who have helped us during this planning process, as well as another local organist who's offered his expertise as well. All this has been incredibly invaluable, so thank you. So, by Easter, the job description was nearly complete, which was great because what we were told is that the best time to advertise is just after Easter. But before we got to the advertising of the role, we were actually approached by a potential candidate who had heard of our search. Now, because I believed this candidate was going to be a good fit, I met with them multiple times over April and into May, and this all culminated in us doing a panel-led interview with me and other parishioners, which came to offering the job to the person. Sadly, though, after considering the post further, the candidate withdrew their application earlier this month. And honestly, this was a shame. From my perspective, they would have been a great fit for our church, but it wasn't meant to be. And rather than lament, remember, we are a people of hope. If this was not who God had for us, then it wasn't, and we had to accept that. Sure, I get it. We want to get someone in that choir loft as soon as possible, and I appreciate the disappointment that comes when we get so close and yet come up so short. But remember, we trust God. We must always trust God in this and all things. So, starting this past week with the job description ready, we began officially advertising the position of Minister of Music at St. Timothy's, and I'm delighted to say we're already getting interest and resumes from potential candidates. So if you know of anybody who might be interested, point them in that direction. Now, I know it's early days and I don't want to get too excited too quickly, but I say this because I think it's okay to get a little bit excited. It's sooner rather than later, I would say. Yes? But let me answer one thing that a parishioner asked me this week. Why are we calling it a minister of music and not a music director like you might hear at other churches? Well, this is intentional, actually, because moving forward, we want someone in this role who has a true desire to use music to minister to God's people, hence the name. After all, sacred music isn't just beautiful background noise for our services. No, it's a way in which God speaks to us, and really we to Him through singing, in ways that just nothing else does. And what we need here at St. Timothy's is someone who gets that, and who will minister to the whole of our congregation through music. Not just those die-hard music-loving people up in the choir loft, but everybody. Now, friends, let's agree to pray for this. Honestly, let's not simply be satisfied with someone playing the organ a few hours a week. Let's instead commit to hiring a talented person to use music to do actual ministry. Okay, this is a person I know I'm committed to waiting for and praying for, and I hope you'll join me in waiting for and praying for them. Not just praying for what they're currently or already doing wherever they are right this moment, but especially for the work they will do here in this post once they're with us. Let me remind you in Hebrews 11 that faith is defined as being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. So with that, let's take a moment to remember our need for faith here. Let's be sure of our want to enrich our worship through music of all kinds, and let's be certain that in time, God will provide. Amen? Amen.